From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Rhea Story. Rhea shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode on confidence. This topic came to mind recently. I've touched on this before, and I speak to it I've got a whole chapter on this in my book, Leadership Gems for Women. But I wanted to do a podcast episode on it, even though I'm sure I've touched on this topic before. It's been probably a couple of years. And so I really wanted to revisit this because I see that it's just such a relevant issue for so many of us, and myself included. So, wanted to do a little bit of an episode here and kind of drill down on the different types of confidence. We all know confidence is important. Of course, confidence in ourselves with humility is really our foundation for being able to influence other people at a high level. Because confidence inspires us. Confidence is a foundation on which successful women can build their influence and their leadership. And just like any building, if the foundation is not strong and healthy, the structure is going to come crumbling down under stress. So, confidence is so crucial to us in life and leadership because confidence inspires trust, right? It sends that unspoken message of strength and certainty and success. And we want to follow leaders who demonstrate confidence. Because if leaders don't have confidence, they will have weak followers. Because if you don't trust yourself, why would anyone else, right? So I wanted to drill down that because there are really two basic kinds of confidence. There's situational confidence, which comes from our competencies. And that is, very situation specific, just like it sounds. It's skills, it's talent, it's abilities, it's competencies, things we are good at doing. And when you're good at doing something, that comes with some confidence. And it should. You're good at it, that you should be confident at it. Right? This is something you've done a zillion times and you're confident in how to do it. You could do it with your eyes shut. And so you're confident in that skill set. And that's absolutely important because that's certainty in the outcome of a situation based on your knowledge and skills and ability. So this is very dynamic because this is going to change and it's affected by other circumstances outside of your control, other factors outside of your control, right? But we can increase our situational confidence by developing competency. And because you're not always going to have situational confidence. It's just like if you start a new job and there's a new computer system, a new software system, even if it's similar job to what you've done in the past, you're going to be less confident in the new computer system, right? Because you're not competent in it yet. Or maybe you switch career fields and now suddenly you are, really skilled and confident situationally in your old job, but you're in a totally different career path now and it requires different skill sets and you don't yet have the expertise level to feel comfortable. And that comes with a little bit of stress, right? So situational confidence, you're not always going to have it. There are times when you try something new, you change fields, in a new role, first become a parent, and or maybe you're just lacking the experience for a new task, right? And you may have self-confidence, but as the situation changes, because situational confidence is very dynamic, as the situation changes, it's going to affect your level of confidence in this situation and how you can perform, your ability to achieve success based on the situation. So, self-confidence, real true self-confidence is conviction of your values and your character, who you are as a person, right? And I talk a lot about that because you can have self confidence regardless of the situation because it's based on your character, and your character isn't going to change from situation to situation. Who you are as a person, obviously, it can grow over time, and it can change over time, but it's not going to change from hour to hour or from day to day. If you take a new job next week, you're pretty much going to be the same person that you were this week as far as character, because character growth is obviously much slower, right? It takes more time to develop our character, but as we develop our character, that helps us develop more self-confidence. And that's the key thing, because I talk to a lot of women who aren't confident in themselves. They don't necessarily have solid self-confidence based on their character. And, we talk about imposter syndrome, where you have that moment where you think, am I really supposed to be in this job? Or am I really supposed to be at this level? Or, I don't feel like I'm the person who's earned this level of success, or for whatever it is. Sometimes that happens in different ways or different roles. But regardless, when it does, it's a sign that says we have not yet developed our character in who we are as a person. Because when we develop our character and we grow in that dimension of ourselves, that's going to help create more self-confidence in a very healthy way. I'm not talking about arrogance, but true self-confidence based on who you are. So, the first thing, there are a couple ways that we can do this. Drilling down, obviously, we all want to be very confident, and developing self confidence is a good thing. So, let's talk about how. Number one, if you're wanting to develop more situational confidence, you need to work on developing your skills, your talents, your abilities relative to the situation. So maybe it's a particular software program you want to get more proficient in. Maybe it's learning to build a website, whatever it is. That's going to be situational confidence. And the only way to increase that is to get more competence in that particular skill. To develop self-confidence, however, number one, I'm a big proponent of personal growth plan, and you've heard me say it over and over. You have to have a plan to grow and develop yourself, whether that's reading a paragraph a day or reading a chapter a day or a book a month, whatever it is. You just need an intentional way to make sure that developing yourself doesn't get pushed to the side, because it's easy to do when you are busy and you're working and you're a parent and you're wearing a lot of different hats, and it's very easy to push that. It's kind of like exercise, right? It's not going to come knock on your door. It's very easy to push that personal growth aside and say, I'm too tired, or I don't have time today. It's not a big of a priority. It absolutely has to be a priority. It doesn't mean you have to do it all day every day, but being intentional with exercising your mind and developing your mind, just like you exercise and take care of your body. So that's the first thing. But the second thing that helps us develop more self confidence is working on identifying and improving our character weaknesses. So there's a great quote by, and I may not say the last name right, but Nicole Scherzinger noted, confidence comes with maturity, being more accepting of yourself. And so you really have to take a good look at your character weak areas, or areas for growth, areas of opportunity. Um, for example, if you have trouble keeping commitments to other people, that's a character weakness, not witness, character weakness. And so you need to look at that and work to overcome that, to develop that in yourself so that you do start to, keep your commitments that you make to other people. Or maybe it's commitments to yourself. That also can be an area of character weakness. But once you develop that, and so that it's not as much of a weakness, it's not holding you back in life because you've developed it and you've worked to overcome it, that's going to increase your confidence. So for example, if you struggle with self-confidence and struggle with keeping commitments you make to yourself, maybe it's saying, "Hey, I know I need to exercise more. So next week I'm going to exercise 3 times. And, I'm going to exercise on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, whatever that is." And then Tuesday comes and you're like, man, I've had a long day. I just don't feel like it today. And so you push that commitment to yourself. You break that commitment to yourself. And then that's going to decrease it's a character weakness, number one. If you're not able to keep the commitments you make to yourself, that's a character weakness. But number two, it's also going to decrease your confidence in yourself because you're already teaching yourself that when I make a commitment, I don't necessarily keep it. And so next time you make a commitment, you already know I've got a track record here of not keeping a commitment. So your confidence in yourself and in uh, your desire to follow through on the commitments you make to yourself is going to be really low. So I hope that kind of paints the example and helps you see how developing our character will help us develop more self-confidence, right? Character growth is going to help us develop more confidence. And it's not going to happen fast, right? It's not going to happen overnight. It does come with maturity, and maturity comes with growth, and it takes time to grow. So, once you identify those areas of character weakness that you want to work on, ask somebody to help hold you accountable. Find a mentor in this area, or maybe a trusted friend to help you identify the areas that you want to work on and help you stay accountable with developing them. And then absolutely develop a personal growth plan. If priorities and planning is a struggle, then maybe it's a personal growth plan around some books and some things that can help you learn more about how to plan effectively. My book Primetime talks a lot about effective planning, but it's all in context of values based living. So it kind of walks you through first what's most important, what's a priority based on your values, the roles that you have in your life, where you want to go, where you want to be in a year or 2 years or 6 months, and then helps you walk through how to actually implement those priorities in your daily, weekly agenda. But maybe it's not planning and effective priority planning that's an issue. Maybe it's budgeting, maybe it's exercise. Wherever that area is that's holding you back because you haven't been able to grow in that area, then you've got to be intentional about a growth plan, right? And it can be very specific, competency or character growth, but you absolutely have to be intentional about that. And here's the thing, your weaknesses of character are holding you back more than weaknesses in competency most of the time. Most of the time. So, but we don't always think about that. Most of the time, we think about development in terms of competency and, getting more skills, getting more things to put on our resume. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just realize that most of the time it's the areas of character weakness that are holding us back the most. So I love Norman Vincent Peale's quote on this. I just wanted to share with this quote with you as I wrap up this episode. And he says, "Believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy." Norman Vincent Peale. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.